Wuthering Waves version 3.3 is officially upon us, and Kuro Games is forcing us to make some of the absolute hardest pulling decisions in the history of the game for this second anniversary. We are getting hit with arguably the most stacked banner lineup. In Phase 1, we have the highly anticipated Glacio Queen Hiyuki alongside the massive reruns of Mornye and Yuno. Then, just when you think your Astrites are safe, Phase 2 drops Denia, completely shifting the fusion meta, alongside the Queen of Havoc Phrolova and the absolute debuff master Chisa. If you are a free-to-play player or even a dolphin, you are facing the ultimate account dilemma right now. Pulling the wrong character here could mean missing out on the best meta synergies for the next 6 months. Today, I am breaking down every single character in the 3.3 banners, analyzing their absolute peak value, and giving you the ultimate pull priority guide so you don't break your account, and make sure you stick around to the end because my final pull priority list might completely change your mind on who to save for. Let's get right into Phase 1. By the way, if you were planning to pull on the upcoming banners, stop buying your Lynaes directly in the game store. You are literally paying too much. Loot Bar just dropped a massive 28% discount, offering much more affordable prices. I use them to get safe, discounted top-ups, and you can even self-top-up, which makes it super fast and easy. And here is the best part. You still get your first-time double top-up bonus even when using Loot Bar. If you are worried about safety, don't be. They have a 4.9-star rating on Trustpilot with over 30,000 real reviews. Don't waste your money paying full price. Click the link in the description or the pinned comment right now to claim an extra 12% off for new users and get the best deal on your next pulls. Phase 1 is absolutely terrifying because it features the brand new characters alongside top-tier supports. Let's start with the undisputed star of the show, Hiyuki. Hiyuki is our new Glacio one-handed sword hypercarry, and she is bringing a dual-form playstyle that completely redefines DPS. Her entire kit revolves around popping her Resonance Liberation to enter her enhanced white form, where she unsheaths her sword and delivers massive screen-wiping EI slashes. But what makes her truly broken is how she scales. Her unsheathed attacks scale entirely off Resonance Liberation damage. On top of that, she introduces a brand new mechanic called Glacio Chafe, allowing her to inflict negative status stacks on enemies and freeze them in place to massively amplify her own damage. If you need a main DPS that is going to comfortably carry you through the hardest Tower of Adversity stages for the next year, Hiyuki is that character. But what if you already have a stacked DPS roster? That brings us to Mornye. Mornye is a defense-scaling healer and support character, and she brings some very powerful universal buffs while also enhancing off-tune mechanics. Her kit is completely loaded. She provides significant healing for your team, 20% defense to your team, and a massive 50% off-tune meld-up rate. On top of that, her outro skill provides a universal 25% all-damage amplification for 30 seconds to the entire team, and you do not lose this buff if you swap characters around. The absolute biggest reason to pull Mornye, however, is her god-tier synergy with Lynae. If you tune break an enemy and have Lynae on your team, Mornye provides an additional 40% bonus damage buff to the team for 8 seconds. This makes Mornye an absolute must-pull if you are running characters that rely heavily on tune strain mechanics. For example, if you play Ameth in her Tune Strain mode alongside Lynae and Mornye, your damage output is going to be completely astronomical. This specific support duo also works flawlessly to push top-tier DPS units like Luke Herson to their absolute limits. Then we have Iuno. Iuno has aged incredibly well since her release and is currently one of the best characters in the game. What makes Iuno so ridiculously valuable is that she can heal, shield, and be your main damage dealer all at the exact same time. Her kit revolves around her lunar cycle, allowing her to swap between her ring in the half-moon state and her bow in the new moon state. Once you fill her Concerto bar and activate her domain expansion, Absolute Fullness, she heals your whole team and restores their stamina. Her outro skill gives the next character a 50% heavy attack damage amplification for 14 seconds. If you have heavy attack damage dealers like Augusta, Gian, and Galbrena, Yuno is a ridiculously strong pickup. If you don't want to miss out on new leaks, character analysis, and banner guides, smash that like button and hit subscribe so you don't miss out. Alright, let's get back into it. If Phase 1 didn't drain your asteroids, Phase 2 is coming for whatever is left. Phase 2 introduces the character who is about to permanently alter your account's team-building math, Denia. Denia is heavily anticipated to be the ultimate dedicated fusion burst support, but here's is the massive twist. She actually features a dual playstyle with 2 different modes, Fusion Burst and Toon Strain. Why is this such a big deal? For months, top-tier DPS units like Ameth have been forced to borrow universal supports like Lynae and Mornye to hit their maximum damage ceilings, creating a massive tug-of-war on your account. Denia completely fixes this. By pulling Denia, you finally give Ameth her own dedicated premium fusion burst composition. But because of her Toon Strain mode, she also works flawlessly alongside Luke. This makes Denia the ultimate account unlock because she slots perfectly into 2 massive meta teams, Ameth's Fusion Burst team or Luke's Toon Strain team, completely freeing up Lynae and Mornye so you can use them on your secondary team to hyper-buff Hiyuki. Next, let's talk about the Queen of Havoc, Phrolova. It has not been that long since her initial release, but her value as a Havoc DPS is still incredible. Phrolova is completely unique because she has the ability to deal considerable damage on-field, but is also able to deal a massive amount of damage off-field that is considered as resonant skill damage and echo skill damage. She is the undisputed master of wave-based content like Whimpering Wastes, because quite a few of her abilities are able to crowd control and stagnate enemies. However, I have to give you a brutal reality check on Phrolova. Her absolute best-performing team composition requires Cantarella and Q1, who amplify echo skill damage. If you don't have these highly specific niche supports, it is a much greater cost to achieve Phrolova's best-in-slot potential. On the flip side of Phase 2, we have Chisa. Chisa is an absolute Swiss Army knife of a unit. She provides fantastic grouping, is a healer, and a shielder on top of all of that. Chisa's entire playstyle revolves around marking enemies to apply Havoc Bane stacks, where each stack reduces the enemy's defense by 2%. But her outro skill is where she breaks the game. Chisa's outro provides a full team buff for 20 seconds that increases the maximum stacks of debuffs and damage over time effects by 3 stacks. If her teammates apply a negative status like Spectrofrazzle, Havoc Bane, or Glacio Chafe, they gain the Thread of Bane buff, which provides an absolutely massive 18% defense ignore. This makes Chisa ridiculously valuable for the 2 biggest new mechanics in the game. She perfectly synergizes with Hiyuki's new Glacio Chafe mechanics to create the ultimate Glacio Chafe team, and she works flawlessly alongside Ameth for her Fusion Burst team. And if you're a Carthea main, Chisa can replace Arrow Rover and a better overall support with less clunkiness. Her chainsaw attacks group up enemies perfectly, completely fixing Carthea's biggest weakness. Also, if you want to save some money to survive this absolute gauntlet of upcoming banners, definitely check out the link in the description and pinned comment. You can get Lunite much cheaper than the in-game store. Let's dive deeper into the weapon values and sequences for these characters, because that heavily impacts their pull value for your account. For Hiyuki, pulling her signature weapon is highly recommended because it perfectly amplifies her Glacio Chafe mechanic. However, if you are strictly free-to-play, the Emerald of Genesis is a fantastic 5-star stat stick, and the 4-star Feather Edge works beautifully because it explicitly buffs her liberation damage. For Denia, her signature weapon, it gives her a baseline 12% ATK boost and spikes her own liberation damage by 36%. But the real magic is the team buff. Any teammate who inflicts a Fusion Burst or Toon Strain gains a massive 24% ATK increase for 15 seconds. It is a game-changing team-wide buff that will buff Ameth's damage, making it a high-priority pull for the Fusion Burst and Toon Strain team. For Mornye, her weapon choices are incredibly simple. While her signature Broadblade provides energy regen and 20% crit damage to teammates, the 4-star Discord weapon works well enough to maintain her short field time. This makes Mornye incredibly free-to-play friendly. But if you have cash to burn, Mornye's Sequence 1 is actually more preferred over her signature weapon because it allows her to provide that massive 40% bonus damage buff even without Lynae on the team. For Yuno, her weapon value is completely different. Her signature weapon gives a massive 36% crit rate and defense ignore. However, the new standard 5-star gauntlet is just better than the older options even as a stat stick, giving you a high attack and great crit rate. Yuno's ultimate flexibility as a unit who uses liberation damage means you can build her cheaply with moonlit clouds and still nuke the entire screen. For Phrolova, the conversation around her signature weapon has actually changed a lot. On her initial release, it was considered an absolute must-pull because of the massive echo skill damage amplification it provides. But if you are running her with Chuyan, it is no longer strictly necessary, as long as you have the String Master as an alternative option. So if you don't have the String Master lying around, you are still going to need her signature weapon to make sure she performs well while off-field. When looking at Chisa, her signature weapon, the Kumokiri, is a massive power spike. It provides 36% crit rate, and at 3 stacks, when any resonator on the team inflicts a negative status, they gain 24% bonus damage. In a Carthadia team, Chisa's signature weapon leads to around a 10% gain to the team's overall damage output. This makes her one of the most premium, high-investment supports in the entire game. So, how do you actually spend your hard-earned Astrites? Here is the definitive pull priority list for version 3.3. Priority 1. Hiyuki. Hiyuki currently holds the absolute highest priority. Glacio is the weakest attribute on almost every player's account right now, so Hiyuki provides an even larger impact than quite a few recent main damage dealers. She is bound to be one of the best DPS characters to release, slightly edging ahead of Denia in terms of raw priority. Priority 2, Denia. If you pick up Hiyuki, she is absolutely going to steal Amyth's best allies, Lynae and Mornye, until she receives her own dedicated sub-DPS in the future. This means Kudo is essentially squeezing players who own Amyth into picking up Denia so Amyth can still run her premium Fusion Burst composition. But Denia's value goes way beyond just fixing Amyth's team, because she actually features dual modes, both Fusion Burst and Toon Strain, so she also works flawlessly alongside Luke. As a highly versatile sub-DPS who can slot perfectly into multiple top-tier compositions, her account longevity is completely off the charts. Priority 3. Mornye and Chisa. Supports are the true backbone of your account. Mornye is a very flexible and powerful healer who provides a ridiculous 25% universal damage amplification, and she is the absolute cornerstone for anyone running Amyth's Toon Strain mode or building around Luke. Chisa, on the other hand, is the absolute undisputed queen of debuff teams, providing shields, healing, grouping, and massive def shred. Because she perfectly enables both Hiyuki's Glacio Chafe team and Amyth's Fusion Burst team, her long-term value is unmatched right now. Priority 4. Yuno and Phrolova. I love both of these characters, but they are reruns. Phrolova is an incredible Havoc sub-DPS, but she demands very specific teammates, like Chuyan, to hit her absolute max potential. Yuno is still one of the strongest arrow characters in the game, but unless you desperately need a heavy attack buffer for Augusta or a highly versatile sub-DPS, your Astrites are generally better spent securing the brand new mechanics of the 3.3 anniversary characters. The 3.3 anniversary is going to drain us completely dry, so let me know down in the comments who you are actually saving for. Are you risking it all in Phase 1 for Hiyuki and Mornye, or are you holding strong for Phase 2? Make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video so you don't miss any Wuthering Waves guides, and I will see you guys in the next video.